Greetings, how are you? Have you thought of importing as a new business? It can be very profitable if you take the time to understand the basics. My name is Juan Lara, and in this and the next 10 videos, we will develop a guide for those interested in this trading transaction. The importing industry is lucrative and exciting. However, if you are new to it, there are some basic rules that you need to know before you jump into it. Essentially, there are 10 rules when it comes to importing into the United States. And I apologize in advance, but I need to read them because I don't want to miss any of them. So the first one is be aware of your responsibility as an importer. There are many parts involved in the process, right? But you got the freight forwarder, the custom brokers, the CVP, the supplier. But guess what? There's only one responsible party, you. You are, as an importer, the responsible for the process. Number two, know the terms and parts involved in the process. If you're not familiar, we suggest, or I suggest, that you need to learn some new vocabulary. What are the roles? What does the customs broker does? What is the role of the freight forwarder? Or where the agencies come in to the United States agencies, and the vocabulary. What is the bill of lading? What is an airway bill? What is CVP? Number three, make sure that you comply with all the CVP requirements and law regulations. So you don't need to know all the policies of the CVP or the procedures, but you need to be familiar with it. It's important so you know what to expect in each step of the process. Remember, the CVP is the country's primary border control. So it's good to know how it works. Number four, choose your supplier well. Well, you don't want it to get ripped off, right? So do your research, buy some samples. It might cost you some money, but it's worth it. So you know what to expect, um, and what they are selling you. If you're successful in the long run, you might want to get a certification from the CTPAT, which is a program from the CVP, from the Customs Border Patrol, that can help you with that process in the foreign country. Number five, check if you need licenses and if there are any restrictions for your import. So depending on the commodity that you want to import, there are requirements. Is the requirements are not the same for clothing than for water, or there are restrictions. Where, let's say, guns or tobacco, alcohol. So restrictions and requirements are completely different for each commodity. So, but don't get discouraged. It's it's just part of the process, and I'm sure if you go through, it will be more likely that you will be successful in this new business that you are thinking of. Now we have number six. Have your merchandise classified at the rate of and the rate of duty established. So there is this code called HS code, and what it does is a 10-digit code that will help you classify and know the duty rate of the commodity you want to import. And also tells the customs broker, it helps the customs brokers to know if you need licenses, or what are the restrictions. And probably the first part or party that you need to ask for that, the HS code, is your supplier. If they are in the export business in their country, they more likely to know what are the HS code. So it's important to know, so you will know if it can be part of a free trade agreement, or if it is a sanctioned country, or it has, um, what it will help you to know what are the duty rate. And if the supplier doesn't tell you and the customs broker doesn't know, you can always request a written ruling from the CBP. Of course, that would be the best thing, but it can be time consuming, I guess. And the best thing I think is for the supplier to give you the HS code. Number 7, determine the port of entry. Depending on what is the final destination of the commodities, you want to bring it through the West Coast, the East Coast, or by air. It all depends, but it's important to determine that in advance. So the freight forwarder, which will help you with that, that's their job, is will help you, will know how to handle better for a smooth process in like in the logistics part. Number 8, get a thorough description of the merchandise. Yeah, well, that is important. And why is important? Because you need to know, it will avoid inconveniences. But for example, what is the country of origin of what you want to import? The country of origin, it's a common mistake, is not the same, not necessarily, it's the same country where the goods are being shipped off from. The country of origin is where they are manufactured. So you can buy in Latin America, but still the goods can be manufactured in China or in Asia. So that would be the country of origin, and that will determine the duty rate and things like that, and restrictions and licenses and all that. It's also some commodities need to know the composition of it or what is the intended use, pricing, and something important, intellectual properties. Now that there are all these symbols that are protected, like the Bluetooth symbol or logo, that's important to know if you need to be aware of it. If your supplier has all the paperwork, the authorization to use it in the goods you are bringing. Number 9, know the Incoterms. So Incoterms stands for International Commercial Terms, and those are these three-letter codes like uh, CIF or like FOB or FCA, and what they do is that they determine the roles, no, the responsibilities and obligations between you and the seller. So, who is in charge of insurance? Who is in charge of picking up? Who is in charge of delivering to the port or to the airport? Or who is in charge of customs brokerage or duties and things like that? So, those codes will determine that responsibilities and obligations between you and the seller. And number 10, hire a freight forwarder to guide you. Even if you know about imports, I advise you to use a freight forwarder. They usually are well connected in terms of agents in the country where the goods are. They can help you, they can analyze what is the best way to bring it to the country. Sometimes, depending on uh, the destination, you say, oh, yeah, ocean freight is cheaper or less expensive than air freight. Yes, but where is it going? You know, it might cost you a lot the inland freight if you are not close to the coast. So there are those things uh, the freight forwarder can help you with. So I strongly suggest to use a freight forwarder. So those are like the 10 tips or rules that we suggest you are aware of. We will develop them in the next videos. But if you think that we are missing any, let us know in the comments, or if you have additional questions, please let us know, and we will address them. Thank you. Have a great day.